How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Vector back in the house for another video. Now today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different than the usual. I'm going to give you a little market recap, talk to you about what exactly is going on with Bitcoin, stocks in the US, and the market and economies in general, and what you can expect is going to happen in the near future. So if this is something that you think you're going to enjoy, well, watch until the end. And if you do enjoy it, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below with any thoughts or questions for me. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, before I do get into Bitcoin's price action, the US 500, which is the index of the top 500 companies in the USA, very important thing that you should keep in mind. And you know, all of these things, I wanted to introduce to you a few definitions before we actually get started. So the first one and the most important definition that you should know is what is quantitative easing. It's going to be very important for the story that I'm about to tell you that ranges from the start of the COVID pandemic times all the way up until now, where interest rates are being hiked and the market is going down brutally. Now, quantitative easing, it is a monetary policy, simply put. It's a policy used by central banks to control the supply of money. Basically, it's a fancy word for printing of money, right? So when they say they're doing quantitative easing, or the Federal Reserve says it, or the European Central Bank says it, or the National Bank of England says it, well, everybody just means that they are printing money and pumping it into the economy. Now, this is not always a bad thing, but it does obviously increase the supply, which does decrease the value of the money, hence causing inflation. Now, what happened during all of these years back since the start of COVID? There is no better chart to start explaining that than the US 500. So this is the index of the top 500 companies in the USA. I usually refer to it as the market, right? So the market was going up very drastically after the initial drop down as COVID actually started. So as you can see right here, COVID starts, the market stumbles, and then ever since then, since the market stumbled very quickly, well, people started buying the dip. But also what started happening is countries out there started printing more and more money to subsidize the economy, to incentivize people to stop saving their money, stop sitting at home and doing, well, you had to sit home because of the lockdowns and everything, but stop saving the money and start spending it, because economically, the more spending goes on in the economy, the more consumption there actually is. That means that economic growth will more likely, continue to increase. The more saving there is, there's likely that the economic growth will actually decrease or stagnate at some point. So what they had to do, since this COVID pandemic actually shut down a lot of sectors, a lot of productivity and all of these things, well, they had to start printing money into the economy to stimulate people to start spending it so that economic growth would not suffer. What happened after that? Well, basically the market just continued going up all the way up until inflation started becoming a problem, right? These are the peak highs right here. So you can see it both on the US 500. We can draw a beautiful type of, one of these head and shoulders patterns. Well, basically we saw a top happen. We saw the same happen when it comes to Bitcoin as well. And ever since this point right here, once everybody realized that inflation was too large, well, central banks, they started reacting. They started increasing interest rates to control inflation. What happens when they do that? Well, the market starts going down, pricing in all of the moves of the rate hikes and all the possible future moves of the rate hikes. And basically that is why the market has been going down ever since. Now, currently, we are seeing somewhat of a relief, right? We're seeing the market start moving up. And in my analysis, we could go up into the 30k level or even into the 40k level at some point before a final leg down into the 10k mark. Now, the only reason why I think we're going down to the 10k mark is because inflation is still a big problem, and they're not going to stop hiking rates until inflation is completely dealt with, or until the recession and fall of economic growth as a result of this increase of rates is so large that they have to start printing money once again. But my personal opinion, what's going to happen in the future is, it's just a matter of time when, but what's going to happen is all of these rate hikes and everything is going to keep going on until at some point they realize that they need more people to start consuming. People are going to be scared. People are going to be saving money. People are going to be saving money from another war, from another pandemic, from another recession, and they're not going to spend. And when they don't spend, economic growth stumbles. When economic growth stumbles, you enter a recession. Once you enter a recession, you have to start printing money to get out of it. What's going to happen? Well, basically, we're going to reach some lows, whether it's going to be at the 10k level, whether it's going to be at the 5k level. At some point, the market is going to turn around because the Fed is going to announce that they're going to stop hiking rates. They're going to actually start making them smaller and smaller. And over time, this means that the next bull run will be able to actually commence. So currently what's happening is we're making a leg up. This is sort of a fake rally because a lot of people were, excited after, losing 90% of their portfolios. Finally, you see 10% up and you're like, yay, it's a bull run. Well, it's not really a bull run, but it is a little bit of relief. However, until the moment that the Fed says that they're going to be stopping the hiking of rates, I'm not going to be doing anything. But at the moment, when the Fed says that they're going to stop hiking rates, even if they say that they're going to stop hiking rates, let's say 8 months from now, it's still going to be a valid signal for the market to start accumulating. And then the market is going to start pricing it in immediately, even though it's news that's coming 8 months from now. You know how it goes: buy the rumor, sell the news. That's the number one thing that I can teach you about crypto. And the number two thing is always DCA. So dollar cost, wait, what is this texting? DCA means dollar cost average. And if you want a little bit of help, well, as soon as the Fed says that they're going to stop hiking rates, that is the moment to start DCAing, or dollar cost averaging. The more crypto falls, the more you buy and you secure the best possible average price for yourself. And that's pretty much it for today's video. I gave you a little insight into Bitcoin, US 500, quantitative easing, quite important stuff going on here. And one last thing I wanted to say is the fact that my target for the US 500 is somewhere around the 3.3k level, somewhere around here, because that does coincide with Fibonacci levels first and foremost, but also because it's at a good zone, right? It's at a support. You can see the support right here, and it is the only zone that we can actually see down here that is legitimate, or out of some reasons. Like the next one could be a little bit higher, so it could be at the 3.5k level. Any one of these two fib levels would be a nice zone for the US 500 to start reversing and continuing for the next bull run. Now, one last thing I want to mention before ending the video is the fact that there might be the largest quantitative easing ever to happen a little bit into the future. I don't know when, but at some point they're going to start subsidizing, and by they I mean central banks and governments. They're going to start subsidizing the change or switch from fossil fuels to green or more sustainable forms of energy, because this is what we're going to need to do to sustain the world into the future. Subsidize all these companies who are looking at short-term profits and not looking at the long-term. Well, there's going to be a lot of printing of money, so these companies can have money to focus on the long-term rather than just eating up their short-term profits. So that's some food for thought for you all. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if you have any thoughts or questions for me. And lastly, I'm not a financial advisor, and you should do your own due diligence before investing into anything in the crypto or NFT world. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.